In December 1009, the general staff of the Changeling army made an optimistic plan called Endspiel. The end goal of this operation was the defeat of the Equestrian armed forces and the capture of its entire territory along with its allies. The Changeling forces were divided into 3 army groups: South, Center and North. Army Group North, under the command of Larynx, would advance into the Crystal Empire. Army Group Center, under the command of Hermes Tisbe, was to advance on Cantelot. And Army Group South, under the command of Carolina Fimata, would advance on Los Pegasus. Field Marshal Trimmel was in overall command of the operation. The objective of the first phase of Endspiel was to capture border cities, airfields and other infrastructure. One such place was Vanhoover, which was the biggest city near the Changeling border. Before the war it had a population of 910,000. Vanhoover was a major objective of Army Group South because it was a major railway hub that could help in future operations. To capture the city, the Changelings had allocated 3 divisions: the 4th Tank Division, 1st Jaeger Division and 4th Marine Division, brought by Task Force Luna Bay, all under the command of Larynx.
The garrison of city of Vanhoover was mainly border guards, allocated in the north of the city, digging trenches to prepare a proper resistance against changelings. Militia formed when changelings get closer to the city, allocated in the northeast of the city. Sailors and coastal artillery guns also were deployed in the entry of the bay, and some AA guns and the Equestrian Royal Guards Company, which was sent in Vanhoover 2 days before the war. The commander of the border troops was General Wilson. Commander of the Royal Guard Company was Captain Thompson.
On the 28th of May 1011, 0400 hour, the Changeling Lands invasion of Equestria began. The 4th Tank and 1st Jaeger divisions began their advance towards Vanhoover, quickly pushing through the weak defensive line along the border. In the afternoon of the 29th, Trimmel's force reached the outskirts of Vanhoover. Emboldened by his previous successes, Trimmel decided to attack the city immediately. The 4th Tank Division would attack the northeastern part of the city, 1st Jaeger the northwestern part, and in accordance to pre-war plans, 4th Marine Division would be deployed south of Vanhoover. The 4th Tank and 1st Jaeger Division made some progress against the defenders, but due to accurate fire from nearby coastal defense guns, their attacks stalled. But the real disaster was in the south. The 4th Marine Division landed on the shore without any problems, but soon they and the ships were shelled by coastal artillery, and the Changeling ships were forced to withdraw, leaving the Marines alone. Worse yet for the Changelings, General Wilson sent 2 battalions of sailors to prevent them from breaking out the landing area. During the fighting on the 29th, Trimmel discovered a weakness in the equestrian lines. A gap between the border guards and the militia divisions that was barely defended. The following day, the 1st Jaeger Division attacked this area, but it was delayed by fire from an AA battery and a coastal defense battery in the area. This allowed the Equestrian border guards to fall back and avoid being surrounded. Wilson decided to form a new defensive line in the northeastern part of Vanhoover. Also on the 30th of May, the fighting between the Changelings' 4th Marine Division and Equestrian sailors and coastal artillery continued, with neither side gaining much ground. On the 31st of May, the Changelings attacked the new Equestrian defensive line, with the 4th Tank Division attacking from the north and the 1st Jaeger attacking from the west. The Changeling attack achieved success and the defenders were forced to retreat deeper into the city. But the Equestrian army did win in the south. After 3 days of heavy fighting and without any supplies, the Changeling Marines finally surrendered and the sailors were deployed to the new defensive line. Trimmel, wanting to end the fighting as quickly as possible to avoid delaying his offensive towards Las Pegasus any further, and realizing that the Equestrian coastal defense guns were the biggest threat, decided to attack towards the southwest, wanting to create a wedge between the defenders and the artillery. The first attack didn't gain much ground, but did inflict a lot of casualties on the defending forces. So when they tried again the following day, they broke through, pushing the defenders out of the city. The crews of the coastal artillery and AA batteries on the southern edge of the bay, realizing that their line of retreat was cut off, decided to make a final stand against the Changelings. Trimmel decided to send the 4th Tank Division south to pursue the retreating Equestrian forces, so it was up to the 1st Jaeger to assault the coastal defense units. The fighting was very fierce, with the defenders not giving up an inch of soil to the attackers, but after several hours of fighting, the weight of numbers finally began to show and the Jaegers took the position despite the defenders fighting to the last pony.
Although Equestria lost the city, the defenders found time to organize a defensive line near Las Pegasus. As a result, the battle for the Las Pegasus was a massive defeat of Changeling armed forces. The Endspiel plan turned out to be ineffective. The Changelings were eventually pushed back by ponies all the way to Vesalipolis. It was the largest defeat by Changelings since the War of 1002, and the greatest success of ponies that were united against invaders, but at a great cost. Many cities were destroyed and many died, but they managed to destroy Changeling war machine and regain peace on Equestria.